Alfa Romeo finally appears to be getting its act together. After years of failed attempts, it has finally produced two competitive cars in the Giulia Saloon and Stelvio SUV. Now Alfa is turning the heat up with this, the Stelvio Quadrifoglio. It's already set a new lap record for an SUV at the Nurburgring, but the real test is out on the road. So we headed to Dubai and the famous Jabal Jai mountain pass to find out what it's like. So another day then and another new SUV, but this one's a little bit more interesting because this is the Alfa Stelvio Quadrifoglio and it's the first in what will be quite a number of new compact performance SUVs. So at the moment the Porsche Macan has that sort of market all to itself really, but as there isn't really anything else around that offers that sort of performance at that sort of price tag. So this is Alfa's offering, but in the future there's going to be a Jaguar F-Pace SVR, a proper M version of the X3 and potentially even an Audi RS-Q5. So it's going to have quite a few competitors in the future, this Alfa, so is it any good? First impression is, from inside at least, it doesn't feel a huge amount different from a standard Stelvio. You get a few flashes of red stitching on the dash, you get an Alcantara steering wheel with bits of carbon fibre and a carbon fibre centre console, but apart from that there isn't really a huge amount to differentiate it. It does feel a little bit more special, especially if you opt for these carbon fibre back bucket seats, but it's still a nice place to sit. It's still a premium, sporty cabin. Like the standard Stelvio, there remains a few issues surrounding interior quality, with some of the switchgear perhaps not operating with the same Germanic slickness of the Porsche Macan. Now obviously over the standard model, things have been stiffened up and firmed up to give it that extra sort of sense of sportiness, but on the roads we're on in Dubai, the roads are so smooth that it's really difficult to really pinpoint how much has actually changed. You can tell it's firmer, but because these roads are so smooth, it's really tricky to really say by how much. So we'll have to wait till we get the car back in the UK to tell you just how much firmer this car is. But that engine. Under the skin, the Quadrifoglio makes use of Alfa's new 2.9 litre twin-turbo V6 that pumps out 503 brake horsepower and 600 Nm of torque. 0 to 62 takes 3.8 seconds, and flat out, Alfa says it will hit 176 miles per hour. Those are some serious numbers for an SUV. Even with this much power, the setup means the Quadrifoglio feels safe and secure. You can carry huge amounts of speed through a corner thanks to the added traction of the four-wheel drive system, but frequently the Stelvio would scrub off some of its pace due to understeer. It just doesn't have that adjustability of the Giulia Quadrifoglio. So from about 2,500 RPM, Alfa says you have all of that torque available, but the engine feels really sort of free of lag. It's so free revving. It revs to about 7,000 RPM, and as you can probably hear, makes quite a racket when it does. Another thing you notice is the steering, which is, it's super quick. So this is still a tall, boxy, heavy SUV, but because the steering's so quick, it just makes it feel that bit more agile and a bit more nimble than what it really should. You can still tell it's a tall SUV. It doesn't manage its weight as well as the Giulia, obviously, or perhaps even the Porsche. but it's still pretty good. There's still a lot of bodywork to carry around, and it still manages its weight relatively well. You know, quick change in direction, it doesn't really upset it too much, and you can really rely on that four-wheel drive system to really slingshot you out of corners. So it's a pretty effective combination. So then, Alfa has injected the Stelvio Quadrifoglio with about as much agility, performance and involvement as you could wish for on a large SUV. It's savagely fast, surprisingly agile for a car of this size, and has enough unique touches inside and out to make it feel really special. The Porsche Macan has had this market to itself for a long time, but not anymore.